Hello, this is Andrew Melendrez with the Rancho Chamber Visionaries. The Visionaries is a group of young professionals and entrepreneurs that want to build lasting relationships in the community. If you're interested in coming to one of our networking events, we meet the first and third Wednesday of the month at Fairwinds Rio Rancho, 920 Riverview Drive. If you want to get more information and see some of the event invites, go to our Facebook group and get added. Today we have a two-part Visionaries video, and the first part is Heather Marshal with the Canvas story, and she is going to be talking about human trafficking and her efforts to fight that. Our second video is Jeffrey Pearl with IP 5280, and he has one of the fastest growing voice over IP businesses currently out there, and it's some amazing stuff. So here comes the videos.
Is in the middle of creating a new nonprofit. She's actually been serving a group of people that are very dear to my heart, that breaks my heart. And so Heather has a blog called The Canvas Story, which is really impressive and educational and super fun. So without further ado, Heather Marshal.
I'm really excited and blown away. I had no idea that there were networking groups that met like this. So even just to be here, I'm kind of just wowed already. I guess today I just wanted to share a little bit of my heart and how the Canvas story got started. I was in Los Angeles on Skid Row. If you've ever been there, if you're a girl, you might have got asked, your price. You probably saw a lot of girls. It's kind of a rough place. And while I was there, I heard some statistics that just blew me away about children in the sex trade, and I had no idea. What started as a wow moment and a moment of tears where, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is happening to children. It turned into a burden. The burden turned into a conviction. Got to a point where I met with my friend Susan, and I was like, I cannot go on living. Like, I can't sleep. I can't go on living knowing that I'm not doing something. So anyway, I'm an artist, hence the Canvas story. My initial thought was, hey, I'll paint, which I love to do, sell some paintings, find some good people to give some money to, and, hopefully suppress the horror that is in my brain now. So I started with that. I brought a couple paintings just for fun, and I would have brought a easel, but I couldn't fit my children in
that's cool.
the car, so I had to choose. I picked my kids, but I do kind of abstract art that hopefully tells a story without, you can hopefully look at these and hope somebody is helped. I really want to hands-on help somebody, and the more I pursued it, the more I just felt like I need to figure out how I can come face to face with this. And so I Googled again, did lots of research, and found that human trafficking help is one of the most corrupt nonprofits out there, because so many girls are rescued just to be put into another form of slavery.
Thanks, Kat. Thanks for having me here today. You kind of heard we've got some our employees here. I've learned if you're going to speak in a group, if you have a good chunk of them that work for you, then at least you've got maybe a fraction of a chance of having a standing ovation or some clap.
Put them out, Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's right. But that was a great cause, by the way. And, thank you for doing that. We like to give things back at IP 5280. We have some causes we work for, and I'd like to talk to you about some of that stuff too. So I've been 25 years in the telecom industry. Kind of grew up in that industry. AT&T had just broken up when I got out of college and went to work in Boston. wanted to do a sales gig, and I interviewed at 4 different places, and I fell into this telecom industry, which was lucky for me because it's been a great industry. A lot of change. When I started, AT&T was the only game in town, and if you started a business, you'd call up the phone company and say, I'm going to start a business. They'd say, how many lines do you want? How many phones do you want? They'd tell you how much it costs and how much it costs to call California. If you said that's high, well, too bad, don't call California. There was no competition, right? So the competition has been great, and bringing technology out to the marketplace. So I kind of grew up through the sales organizations, and my last 2 corporate gigs, I was at Quest, running sales back before we bought US West. Nationwide, about 3,000 people working for me there. And then I went over to ICG, which is a CLEC, a competitive local phone company, publicly traded phone company. I became CEO there, sold that, and we started our own business, IP 5280. And what we did when we started the business, we kind of looked at, I like the whole theme here, visionary. We were kind of looking out from, here's the way the industry works today. It's been working this way for 100 years. Here's where it's going. It's all going over IP, and we could see that and started the company. It's been a great move for us, and it's been a great environment. You see a lot of the change going on in the industry today. You guys probably don't see it as much as we do in Denver with Quest, but Quest merging with CenturyLink and Savvis. Level 3 just picked up Global Crossing. Paytech is another phone company that's just merged into Windstream. All these mergers are happening because the traditional telephone companies are declining, right? So at Quest, they were losing 200,000 to 300,000 lines a quarter, right? They're just going away. And where are they all going? They're going to wireless and voice over IP and things like that. There's half the people in the country, it's actually less than half now, actually have a phone line in their home, a traditional phone line. Anybody here using voice over IP today for your business or at home? Show of hands, yeah. And some people don't even realize that if you're on Comcast, for instance, Comcast is gobbling up a lot of the residential users and small biz. That's all voice over IP. It's all going over that IP network. And if you don't know what it is, it's kind of a high awareness. People are kind of understanding what it is, but it's basically the phones now are just like computers. We plug a phone into an Ethernet jack just like you plug in a computer, and it fires up, and you're actually making calls across the internet, voice and video. We've got customers in every state, and we've got customers in about 20 different countries. One of our larger customers has about 20 video phones deployed in China, and they used to just call their manufacturers over there, paid a lot of money for the calls. Now they just extension dial, just as if I was calling down to the office across the hall. Dial an extension, totally free. You're not only getting high definition voice, but you're also getting high definition video. Which, as we were talking about, this morning, you get so much more in a video call when you're interacting with people. Often have people, and I don't know, it's usually women. When we have a video, they kind of get on a video, and then they want to back off. They're always, like, is my hair right, and all this kind of stuff. Everyone wants to say, I don't know if I really want to be on a video call. I was using the analogy. I'm talking to my wife, and she said, well, let me call you when you're listening to me because you're multitasking. I don't know, she can always tell, even if I'm typing real quiet. You can't do those things with video. You can't do any of that because, we're talking here. If anyone was over there, Dan's over there on his laptop. He doesn't care what I'm saying. You can see that when you have video. But we all do it, right? You put the phone on mute, and you talk to one of your coworkers. You check email, and the person keeps talking. You say, "Can you repeat that last question?" That happens all the time. That goes away with video. And what's kind of neat about it now that we've been deploying it, once you have it, I call it the Jetson phone. You can remember the cartoon, the Jetsons, right? The phone's right there, and the person's right there. And when you have that technology, it doesn't go away. And the analogy I like to use to kind of describe that. You wouldn't come to this meeting today and put a blindfold on. You'd trip over a chair and probably break your leg. But if you weren't going to get hurt, you're just going to sit down in your chair, put a blindfold on, and talk to all the people around you. You wouldn't do that, right? Because you want that interaction. You want to know, if I'm saying something, are people buying off on it? Are they bored? Do I need to move on to something else? We take that human interaction. So it's been really great. I think in the next 6 to 9 months, every phone that we deploy will have video, which is kind of neat when you think about it that way. And it's not just the Denver office calling the New Mexico office. I'd like to have video talking to the guy that does provisioning down the back end of our office, right down the hall. Why not? It just goes through the Ethernet, and you guys are in IT, you all understand this, right? Once you get on that Ethernet network, it's all free. It's just data. Voice is just data traveling around that network, just like email, where you're sending a file. And video is the same way. So it's kind of all free once it gets out there. So there's a massive shift going on in the industry. You guys probably saw a buzz around Microsoft buying Skype, right? You see that? It's about $8.5 billion. They really didn't have a lot of revenue. I mean, it's a lot of cash to pay for a company that didn't have a lot of revenue. But it's where the industry's going. If you're kind of looking out to the future and say, well, where is it going, Jeffrey? It's not about the phones that we're selling today. It's going to applications on the desktop. You want me to send your calls to a screen this big, or a screen on a desktop? Well, we have full walls that we turn into video, and that's what it is. That's where we're going to land the calls. And Microsoft gets that, right? So they have a lot of the eyeballs out there. I mean, we're all using Microsoft, or most of us using Microsoft to business. So they have all the eyeballs. You send me an email, I just double click on your picture, it expands, and we have a conversation, video and voice, which is kind of neat.